back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
A UFC female champion versus champion super fight in the UFC is not only 100% happening, it's 1000% happening according to Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, the UFC Bantamweight Champions coach over at American Top Team, Coach Silveira. This is what he had to say. He said, "People want to see it. I think they have the best opportunity to leave their marks in history. I believe for the weight division, Amanda is going to be extremely well prepared. She's not going to have to make the weight. She's probably going to be strong in that division, and I do believe the compensation for the strength that comes from Chris Cyborg definitely will be the tools that Amanda has on her side." And I'm guessing he's talking about the speed, of course, because she's a smaller fighter. When he says the compensation, he says, "I do believe the compensation, the strength that comes from Chris Cyborg definitely will be the tools that Amanda has on her side. I think this is the perfect fight. It's a perfect match. It's a champion's fight, and it's something we don't see often." Now, before I get into what else he had to say, I'll tell you what's going on with this fight if you don't know. So, Chris Cyborg is the UFC's featherweight champion. She's beat up everybody that's came across her path, and usually people that are coming up from 135 pounds, because the UFC doesn't have a 145-pound division, and Chris Cyborg, that's the only place she's too big to cut down to 135. So she's been eating bantamweight after bantamweight after bantamweight. Most recently, Holly Holm, who's fought at featherweight before, and she's even fought for that title before. So she's a little bit of a legitimate featherweight if you're talking about Holly Holm, but the fact that she can make bantamweight, the fact that Holly Holm can make 135 pounds, a lot of people say, yeah, so she's not a legit featherweight, because any legit featherweight can't make 135 pounds. So now Chris Cyborg, who's been dominating everybody, bantamweight after bantamweight, is saying no to the Amanda Nunes fight. She's saying that's not what she wants. She wants to cement her legacy by beating a legit featherweight, and the only legit featherweight the UFC has signed, to my knowledge, is Megan Anderson. A lot of us know Megan Anderson. We never saw her fight in the UFC, but she is a legit featherweight. She's not like she's a dominant force coming over from somewhere. You don't hear about Megan Anderson just fucking knocking everybody out. The only thing about Megan Anderson that is really her biggest selling point for this fight is that she's a legit featherweight. And we even had like Misha Tate come out and say like Megan Anderson was submitted by this chick who really should be fighting, you know. So there's people that even question Megan Anderson's like skill set. Is she even good enough? Yeah, if Cyborg beats Megan Anderson, it's a legit featherweight, but she's not even close to Cyborg's skill level. So that's why, I mean, that's where Amanda Nunes comes in. It's like, okay, you've been fighting bantamweight after bantamweight, and if you really want to legitimize and say, look, I'm done fighting 135 pounders, I want to legitimize the 145-pound division, this is how you do it. You beat Amanda Nunes, the queen of bantamweights, because if Chris Cyborg can beat Amanda Nunes like she's beat every other bantamweight, there's no reason to even talk about Chris Cyborg versus another 135-pounder. Nope, I don't care if you're Dana White, Sean Shelby, matchmaker, you can't give me Chris Cyborg versus a bantamweight if I've already seen her fight Amanda Nunes, the queen of bantamweights. So that's why this fight is still fine for Chris Cyborg's legacy when she comes out and says, sorry, I don't want that fight. I want a legit featherweight for my legacy. It's like, yeah, but this is the last fight you even have to consider. So that's the thing going on here. That's why the coach has to confirm it's 1000% happening, because Chris Cyborg is not interested. It's not looking like Chris Cyborg's too interested in this fight. And one thing is, of course, you can't say Chris Cyborg is scared of anybody, because it's actually the opposite. Usually chicks are running around scared of Chris Cyborg. No one wants to fight Chris Cyborg, and in order to get a chick to fight Chris Cyborg, you either have to compensate her with a higher paycheck, or give her some discretionary bonus, or give her, hey, I'll let you join the UFC, but you gotta fight Cyborg first, as we saw with Tanya Evinger, who's been trying to get in the UFC, and the only way she was able to get in was by signing on the dotted line to fight Cyborg. So chicks don't want to fight Chris Cyborg, but now we've got the fucking tables reversed. Cyborg doesn't want to fight Nunes, and it's like, hold on, that just makes you raise your red flags. Like, I've never seen Chris Cyborg turn down a fight. She's usually trying to find a fight. Now you've actually got a legit somebody wants to fight you, Amanda Nunes, and Megan Anderson, who Chris Cyborg wants to fight. Megan Anderson saying, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So Chris Cyborg, is she saying like, yo, I'm gonna wait until Megan Anderson's ready. I'm not fighting Nunes. That just throws a fucking monkey wrench into everything. Usually it's the opposite. So Amanda Nunes, before I get out of here, Amanda Nunes is 100% the most talented, skilled fighter Chris Cyborg has ever fought. Say what you want about Holly Holm. Yes, Holly Holm is amazing and she's dope, but she's not the bantamweight champion. Say what you want about Holly Holm. Yes, she's amazing. She's dope, but she lost to Valentina Shevchenko, who Amanda Nunes beat twice. So you can't, there's nobody you can give me on the planet that's a better 135-pound fighter than Amanda Nunes. There's none of them out there. There's no Rousey, there's no Tate, there's no Shevchenko, there's no Holly Holm. Even though Amanda Nunes hasn't fought Holly Holm yet, that's pretty much the only person Amanda Nunes hasn't beat to clear out the division. Raquel Pennington's there. They were supposed to fight. Raquel Pennington got into a car accident. Now the fight's off. So now Amanda Nunes needs a fight. She's like, hey, Cyborg, I'm over here. And so that's why I want to see this fight, because you usually don't see that. One thing, though, that might be keeping Chris Cyborg from this, I'm not sure, but one thing about this fight is it is a win-win for Amanda Nunes. If Amanda Nunes goes in there and gets smoked by Chris Cyborg, she doesn't lose her belt and everyone says, yeah, but it's Chris Cyborg. If she goes in there and beats Chris Cyborg, she becomes a champ, gets another belt, and she beat Chris Cyborg. So it's a win-win for Amanda Nunes, and it's probably a lose-lose for Chris Cyborg. Even though someone said that it's a lose-lose for Chris Cyborg, but I disagree, because it would be if Amanda Nunes was just some random bantamweight. The fact that Amanda Nunes is the bantamweight champion says, look, Chris Cyborg, if you beat Amanda Nunes, it's not a lose-lose, because if you beat Amanda Nunes, it's a win, because not only did you just beat another UFC champion, but you just beat the queen of bantamweights. You just established yourself as, hey, there's no 135-pounder on the planet that's fucking with me. Let's build this division. So I think it's actually it's a win-win for Amanda Nunes, and it's not even a lose-lose for Chris Cyborg. So this just seems like the perfect fight. And so Dana White said that's the next fight to make. And now Amanda Nunes, American Top Team coach, is saying it's 1,000% happening. So we'll see what happens on Cyborg's side, and if she's just like comes out and shuts all this shit down. But hopefully it happens. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.